I am, I can, I will. This is the motto of the amazing Lesley Sackey, who is an ABA British boxing champion, a European gold medalist, a finalist on the BBC3 Last Woman Standing, a mother of 3 beautiful girls, and an entrepreneur. We got behind the face of Lesley to find out what makes her the woman she is. Hey Lesley, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. Okay, so I just want to start by talking about your motto that I've seen quite a lot on your social media, which is I am, I can, and I will. And hopefully that will sort of shape what we talk about. So let's talk about where you came from, what made you the woman you are today.
Oh, big question. What made me the woman I am today? I think lots of things. That I am, I can, I will is a principle that I was speaking to someone and they said, what is your coat of arms or what is your motto? So I really thought about it. And I am, I can, I will was about combining past, present and future. So I am is about your foundations. So who you are, what are your foundations, what drives you, what are your motivations, which boxing is a big part of that. But I noticed when I started to box and even after I boxed, there were lots of lessons I learned from boxing that apply outside of the ring. So
such as what?
Oh, such as what? So fall down 7, stand up 8. So when you get knocked down, excuse me, when you get knocked down, stand up, get up. It's not over until the bell rings, so you always keep fighting to the very end. So don't give up on anything, basically. There's loads. Keep it in the ring is another one. What I love about boxing is that when you're sparring, it's hit or be hit, kill or be killed, so to speak. But you're in the ring, you've got your game face on, and it's all about winning, and you're hitting each other. There's no holds barred. And then the minute you can step out of the ring, you can have a laugh with the person you've just been hitting in the face. And I find as women, we find that hard to separate emotions like that. So that's a
so like, how do you do that? How do you separate? And were you ever scared of being hit?
No, I've never been scared of being hit, and I think if you are, then you shouldn't be stepping in the ring, basically. I think it takes, that's why I always have a lot of respect. People ridicule boxers who step in the ring, they're not very good, and he wasn't very good, but you have to give respect to people who know there's a possibility they're going to get hurt and they're stepping into a vulnerable, possibly harmful situation. So I think, if I was scared about being hit, I wouldn't get in the ring. I think it's no fear.
Yeah, no fear, no gain.
No fear, it's like fear holds you back. So you have to just...
So, as a woman, obviously a lot of women find it difficult to do what you're doing. It's not easy to find that discipline, that commitment to boxing. What do you think through your life kind of got you to this point where you can find that anchor inside you to pursue it like you do?
I think it was the boxing. I came to boxing quite late, so I'm 34 now, and I started in my mid-20s, early 20s, just as a way to keep fit. I wasn't into fitness before. At school, I wasn't, particularly active. I always laugh and say I was that girl, smoking on the tennis courts while everyone was doing cross-country. So I was never into sport, and then I wanted to get fit, and I just went to a local kind of boxing session, keep fit, and it snowballed from there, and I started to feel results, and I started to feel the gains as well of focusing on something and sticking with it. And I think it was in my character. I've always been quite driven, quite ambitious, even when I was at uni, or I've always wanted to do well. So I think that was part of it, and then the discipline comes from doing something every day. And I was training like 6 days a week, 2 hours at a time, sometimes twice a day.
Wow.
And so I think the boxing kind of built or set the foundation, and it has carried me through to this point.
Yeah.
So it's given me that drive, and also I know how I feel when I train. So the benefits far outweigh.
What is that feeling?
It's release, it's feeling powerful, it's feeling strength, it's feeling it's feeling like you're moving. or giving you a chance just to focus on one thing. So you come into the gym, you leave whatever's going on outside the gym, and you just focus on exactly what you're doing. You're present to what you're doing. So, and I think that's, everyone says, oh, how do you manage with 3 kids and training, and how do you? I think it's just, again, it's the boxing foundation. There was a time when I lived, breathed boxing. I was training. I was in this gym 6 days a week, training hours on end at a time. So I think it really set a foundation for me to keep focused when I needed to, and to use those tools to, I guess, to my advantage or to move forward. So I realized that training is part of my survival, my mental survival. I need to train, I need to release, I need to hit something.
And would you say that, has your body changed at all, obviously having had kids, and how you continue to box as you would ordinarily? Has it hindered you in any way, or?
I think it's made me stronger. I think after having this 3rd baby, I feel physically stronger than I've ever felt. My body has definitely changed. It doesn't look the same, unfortunately. But I say unfortunately, but it's changed. So it's not unfortunate. It's actually I'm at a point where I'm embracing it and saying, look at the result of this. But it's hard as women. There's a lot of pressure, especially after having babies, and especially if you've been fit and suddenly, you're not so much anymore. So I felt like, for me, again, I wanted to know that I could get to that place again. So that's what drove me, and to know that I could be as fit or around in the area of that type of fitness. So and I'm getting there. So
okay. So do society's ideas of what a woman should be has it ever bothered you? Has it ever played on your mind, in a sense? Obviously, being in boxing, where it's sort of like male-driven, and with society having ideas of what a woman should be, how have you sort of battled through that and still remained true to yourself?
I think it's a process, or it's a journey. I wouldn't be human if I wasn't affected by those things, especially growing up as well. I had quite a lot of body issues, but I think I'm at a point now where it's about feeling strong, and I still want to, there's things I want to work on, or there's this bit and that bit, but I try and keep it in check now, whereas maybe when you're younger, I'd kind of let it, out of control. And I think as well, I have to be very conscious because I have 3 daughters. Yes. So I don't want to be talking about dieting. I don't want to be talking about, this bit, or, I'm very aware. And I notice the conversations around women more so now. And so I suppose I feel, more responsible to try and keep those, little things or hang-ups in check. But I'm human as well, and I'm a female, and there's, it's things not easy. It's part of being a woman, I guess. But So.
And I see you have a boxing boutique where you train. Tell me about your career now and what you're doing to empower women, because I believe it's quite important to you.
Okay, so what I'm doing now in terms of boxing, I started when I was boxing and competing. I went to Olympic selection and didn't make it. I kind of sat in between the weights. So I was, suddenly I dedicated my life to, not my life, a time where I was like, this is what I'm going to focus on. And it didn't end up happening the way I thought. So I was like, what now? And I ended up having a baby.
Was that planned?
A nice surprise. It was, it wasn't planned to the day, but I was getting older. I was like, how long am I going to be boxing? I want to have a family. So, but I started my business at the same time. Wow. So I found that women love boxing. They like the benefits of boxing training, but boxing gyms can be quite intimidating places to walk into. So I wanted to create a space or a service that was female-focused or female-friendly, where they could come learn authentic boxing training, but in a female-friendly way. Yeah, Rocky style. Yeah, so there's boxer-size stuff, but proper, blood, sweat, and tears training, but female-focused and not so intimidating. And also the fact that I have. I have experience in that field is, I haven't just done a boxing course, and it's like I've got this is real experience and knowledge as well. Like I said, things that I've learned outside of the in the ring that I can transfer outside of the ring. So basically, I started that, and then made an Olympic sport out of having babies. So I ended up having 3 babies in the space of like 4 years. So I kept starting my business.
Did you find that you were focused, like in your mind, it wasn't a case of I'm a mother, I'm a boxer, I'm Lesley. It's just everything running smoothly.
No, what are you talking about? Everything running smoothly. It's like, it's constantly, this urge and this need to be a mother, which is what I wanted to do and enjoy doing. But to have another part of you that's kind of reaching for something else, it's a struggle and it's a constant battle because, and then there's that kind of this guilt as well, that like women's guilt or mother's guilt of, having a life or still having things that you want to achieve outside of your children or outside of motherhood. And I feel with Boxing Boutique or boxing, and I feel like that was something, or it still is something that I need to pursue and follow through, because it was something I started as I was becoming a mother and then kind of put on hold and have been putting on hold since I've been having children. So now I'm finished. Officially. I have my 3 girls, and so I really want to focus and push that forward, and I feel like more so now is a time when it's needed. And the more women I work with, the more women I see that we need to be inspired, we need to feel confident. And now I just had the extra experience of being a mother, and I realise actually there's a lot of mums out there. This job is not easy, and that hardest job, and you feel like you doubt yourself and you think, am I doing the right thing? Or just women need support in that role, and I think it's assumed that they just get on with it. You're supposed to be you're a woman, like deal with it, and it should come naturally to you. It should come naturally to you, and all that kind of stuff. So, so I just I think it's from working with women in different capacities or being around women. So being around women as a mother when I just had baby, the baby groups, training women, meeting interesting women along the way as well. And just, I feel like I want to create something that a place for them to learn and grow. Which is brings me onto the project of WeBox.
Tell us about WeBox.
So WeBox is a new project I'm working on. We stands for Women's Empowerment, Box Workshops, and it's our philosophy is box, breathe, become. Our ethos is I am, I can, I will. So it uses boxing and yoga as tools to create or bring out the inner champion, especially in women in the workplace and beyond. So I realised when I was boxing, there's lots of things that transferred outside of the ring, as I said, but especially in a corporate environment where it's quite a male-dominated environment. So tools like keeping it in the ring, women, keep it in the boardroom. Don't, separate your emotion from the matter at hand, so you can focus on the task and leave it there and not bring emotion into it. Because when we get emotional about things, which we are, we're females and we do that, but there's a time and a place. If you get emotional in the ring, you've lost control, so you can't see. If you get angry in the ring, you've lost control. So it's about keeping that focus as well.
So especially for young girls coming up, where I think it's harder for young girls today, with all the media and Instagram women, I call them Instagram models, focusing all about the external and how beautiful one and likes and so on. How do you think boxing can actually bring perspective, centering to young women, and do you think it can?
I think it can, because you're actually doing something. So you're not sitting there just posing or like, oh, this is my outfit. You're learning and you're doing. So, I went to the first female-only boxing show on the weekend, and I saw girls as young as 12 boxing, which I hadn't seen before. People have mixed opinions about it, but it was amazing. It was a great display of technical ability and learning and focus and discipline. So why is that a bad thing to offer any young woman, especially in the world of imbalance and I guess uncertainty now, really? So.
Excellent. Yeah. So we talked a bit about stuff you've done with women, and especially in Ghana, and boxing. I find that really fascinating, also being half Ghanaian myself, and like the bodies that we have. So tell me about that experience and what you learned from it. And I
learned. It was just something I observed, that women women in Ghana in particular are very strong. They've got babies on their backs, they're carrying food or, like large, heavy items. You look at them and they're solid. And I thought this would be like, they're naturally strong, even in character and nature. These are great tools for boxing. And it was at a time when they were announcing if female boxing was going to be in the Olympics. So I wanted to explore and investigate what is Ghana doing to encourage that, and also what are they doing for females to.
What did you discover?
Not very much. No, not very much. Now I discovered that boxing and football are the biggest sports in Ghana, and it's kind of woven into everyday life. But there's lots of politics and opinions of how things should be run. And what I did discover is that funding is needed, investment is needed, and also that I guess priorities aren't with sports. It's about earning a living,
existing.
Yeah. So when you're in a country where unlike say London or England, where there's I would say more opportunity, the focus is going to be on other things such as sport or music. But I think I would like to see more money, more money to focus on those things, because there's so much potential there. But I also understand why the focus isn't there right now. Yeah. So until you address the economic situation, from that you can also, I guess, provide light relief, I guess, training in that capacity.
So would you say that without boxing, would you still be the woman that you are today? And what's Lesley without training?
What's Lesley without? Grumpy. She's grumpy. She's really grumpy. No, what's Lesley without? I think it can
be this woman.
I don't say no, definitely not, because I am like, the core of me is the core of me. But I think it's given me so much. It's given me, in terms of just, I got to travel, I've got to do TV shows, I've got to do really cool things, represent the country. I've got to meet some amazing people. I've been able to create a business from it. There's lots of great things it's provided for me. And it still does. So, but it's the mental. There's lots of things mentally that is, even the fact I know that there were times when I see some of the old coaches and they're like, you remember when we ran for 2 hours and then we came and sparred? And I'm like, oh my God, I remember those days. And I think, God, could I do that now? But that type of training is ingrained in me, so that I think if I really need to, I can. So it's that, the I can aspect of that. I am is my foundation, the boxing and all that it's given me. But I'm other things as well. I'm a mother, I'm a businesswoman, I'm still, I'm a female as well. I'm still sensitive, I like to be told, oh, you look pretty today, or, I'm all,
Tell her, she might
tell her she might hit me. No, I'm a,
So how have you found dating? Obviously, being such an athlete, it must be difficult. Or is it difficult finding a man who can handle
I always
your
get
power?
told, oh, you're too pretty to box, or what do you do? I'd like to be your boyfriend. You must, like, if you don't agree with you must get a punch in the face. And I'm like, no, it's like, no, it's not like that really. So, but yeah, as far as dating concerned, I'm dating my babies. That's right now. They're enough for me in terms of time and juggling and focusing on that. So,
wow, that's just amazing. 3 kids. I've seen your social media videos where you're literally boxing with your baby.
Oh, literally, I'd had this 3rd baby. I was like 14 stone 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm normally like 10 and 10. No, not 10 stone 10. I used to box at welterweight, so and I felt like this time my whole body had changed. Just that I was bigger, but it was just like my back seemed wider. And I found it really hard. and I wanted to see what my body would look like afterwards, like what was the carnage afterwards. but also it was just out of necessity. Like I had 3 kids and 2 were starting in nursery, but I had to bring them with me sometimes. And this is, I'd want to get a session in. I didn't have, the baby's too small to drop off anywhere. So I would just, it was good for me because I felt like it was a release, and so it happened by default. And people were like, oh, you should film that. It's like, really, you're doing that? I'm like, to me, in my mind, I was like, I'm just getting it done.
That's just normal.
It was normal, but I was just like, what else am I going to do? Like, I just get it done. And now they're at a point, they're used to this environment, so they're comfortable, and hopefully, and that's something I hope that they see that, mummy tries. Like, she tries, and you know what, there's no excuses.
I think that's just amazing to be able to adapt to your environment and your situation rather than making excuses and say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I just, how do you find the discipline to do that? What do you tell yourself in your head when you're facing all that? Because so many women face that, and then it's easy to give up and say, oh.
I think it's 2 things. I've had a great role model in terms of my mum. She's my hero in terms, she never gives up. She's always trying, she's always doing new things. And also, again, it's boxing. It's just, you just get it done. There's no excuses. You get it done. So I think it's kind of constantly.
So the boxing ethos.
Boxing, it's just, I guess, there's no, or that feeling if you don't is worse. It's just,
I like that.
It's just worse. So let's just get it done. And no, I'm not going to like it, but afterwards I'm going to feel good. And actually, there's a reason I'm doing this, and I want to feel strong, and I want to feel good, and.
Excellent.
That's it.
One thing I always wonder, obviously, She Republic's all about kind of self-love, self-acceptance. And every time I see a woman, I always ask myself, I wonder if she loves herself. What does she think about self-love? So, I want to ask you that.
Well, so I think that is something I'm working on and trying to exemplify in terms of, so that my children can see that, because I feel a huge sense of responsibility raising 3 women, young women. So I really want to have that in check so that it transfers out. I think I'm okay, and I'm getting there, but we're all a work in progress. So, yeah.
So what do you do to feel that self-love, like I'm enough for myself?
Enough. It's like, just saying I'm enough. And also just, I'm notorious for being very hard on myself. And again, that's part of the boxing training. As an athlete, it's like you're always pushing, you're always striving, like, do not give up, and sometimes there's days when you have to kind of readjust it or address the balance, and, actually, maybe you're not well today, so there's a reason for that, or what's going on with you. That's it. So I think that's my main focus, is to be kind to myself. And actually, if you don't get things done when you should, then it's not the end of the world, and actually you're still cool. So it's just about being kind to yourself is a big one. Being kind to yourself, and that you're enough, and not looking for other people to love you. It comes from here. So I think that's something, definitely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I think we had a great chat as well before, which was fantastic.
I know.
And getting to 2 Ghanaian girls, reminiscing about the good old days. Yes. So
my favourite food, by the way. Banku and tilapia.
Really?
My favourite food.
It has to be wache or the kinke. The kinke.
Okay.
No, the hot kinke, fried fish in the morning.
Okay.
Oh my God. You can't beat it.
That's not diet food though. It's not boxing food. It's strong food. It's powerful food. That will set you up. You only need to eat that in the morning, and you're done for the day.
You're done. And the thing is, a lot of women are very athletic, and they eat all the stuff, but they work hard.
Exactly. And that's another thing as well, working out, so that I like my food as well. So I don't. It upsets me if I have to say no. So but the thing is, I'll sleep after Banku belly sleep. That's it, done. So I have to limit it. It has to be a Sunday afternoon or something. That's it. So
So yes, thank you so much for taking time out. Yes, it's been great getting to know you, and I'm sure we'll probably work together later on in future and build something incredible. So I look forward to watching you grow as well.
And you too, likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.